Well. Hello everyone there in the world of YouTube. This is Sheldon with iHardware here to give you guys a very in-depth lecture of my life. No, not really, but really it is a lecture of my life. Anyways, guys, I just wanted an excuse to make a video since my denim update finally came out. If you don't know what that is, it's an update for the Nokia, I don't know what the hell it is now, but the Lumia phones, as they're called now, Windows phones. So mine's a Nokia, but anyways, before I ramble on that, finally I'm able to record in 4K and stuff right now. I'm actually recording this in 2K right now because there's a way you can record 4K, but I can't really remember how to. Every time I try to, I mess it up, and my internet's not the greatest, so uploading a 4K video might take me a few days or so. So I'm just going to record this in the meantime for 2K because I highly doubt anyone's really going to try watching this video in 4K. If you are, wow, I praise you for all, Lord, and all that fun stuff. No, sorry, let's not get into some religious stuff right now. Anyways, I'll just give you guys kind of some, quick, sneak peeks of stuff I might be making videos in the future of. Please let me know also, too, which ones you do want to see a video of. So, starting off, this, I don't know if I might have mentioned it in another video, but, this is a Dell Inspiron. Let me turn that camera off. I can actually, oh wow, no, I can't, never mind the light, I can actually turn that off now. But this is Inspiron E1505. I obtained this laptop along with the other computers I'm going to show you in a few minutes, seconds, however long that takes. But I don't know why I did that. I just hit the keyboard roughly. But this was free. Uncle gave it to me. It was their old family computer back when Vista was like awesome and like the fastest operating system in the world. Not at all, please just no. But I fired it up and it was your normal install of family software, and to make things best, it had a Core 2 Duo, which is awesome. That was actually fine. But the fact that this had 2 gigabytes of RAM, I believe 5 user accounts, and every single Barbie game you could possibly think of in the late 2000s was installed on here. Every antivirus program, everything you could possibly imagine to make Vista the worst was running on here, and it felt like you were running, oh god, Windows 8 on a Pentium like 2 or something. It was that bad. But so I wiped it and I put 7 on it, probably might even put 8 on it, and it's running like a champ. Awesome. It has GeForce 7300 M card or something like that, the mobile version of this graphics card, surprisingly enough. So not bad at all for the graphics horsepower in this thing. It'd be nice to upgrade to 4 gigabytes of RAM or something like that, but I'm probably just, this is going to be my sister's computer probably for schoolwork, family computer, along with the Optiplex GX620, which is currently being used by my dad. So let me know what some upgrades to this thing might help, but 2 gigs seems to be fine for right now. But when you start putting up more tabs in, say, Google Chrome or something like that, you definitely know a difference. Here's just the Panasonic VHS. I don't know if I've actually shown this to you. It's been in my setup tour and stuff, but I've never really showed it off. And then the Brother word processor that's been in most of my videos. Just this good old-fashioned hunk of beauty. So this was my mom's in high school, and all my floppy disks down there with file save on. I actually do type papers on this. If I'm in the mood for it, I'll type up a essay on this, turn it into my teachers, and they definitely notice when I turn something in and it's on this, what do you call this type of paper? I don't remember. The long type of paper, style paper. So if I remember, I'll mention that. Here's just a motherboard. This is seeming more like a setup tour, so I'm just going to skip that. That's just from the compact computer. Over here, this is probably something that I was the most proud of next to this Inspiron out of the whole bunch, was this Dell XPS Gen 5 computer, which came with all these, and then also a Dimension 4600, one of the highest, actually I believe it is the highest end model of these Dimension computers. This thing was weird when I found it. I'll get to this in a second. I'm actually going to show this really quickly. This had a 500 gigabyte hard drive in it, IDE Western Digital Blue, and you probably know where that ended up in my computer, of course, because the other hard drive that I have, what the heck is that, hair or whatever there, that was weird. I opened it up, and that, to my surprise, there was a 500 gigabyte Western Digital Caviar Blue drive in here, IDE. So that was pretty extraordinary. It's running great with my computer right now. Just using it as a mass storage drive since I needed the space. And then for RAM, it has 4 1 gig DDR modules in there. So pretty old standard for sure. And then it has a Pentium 4 2.6. I don't remember what socket it is. I believe it's 486. That's probably wrong, but the older style Pentium 4 is right before LGA 755, which this system uses. So I'll get onto this. This has a Pentium 4, I believe, 3 gigahertz, 3.2 gigahertz actually. I don't remember which code name or what series it was under, but it was one of the earlier 3.2 gigahertz models, and it has BIOS revision A03, I believe, on it. For this, sadly, it doesn't support Pentium Ds or anything like that. It might. I haven't tried updating the BIOS or anything on it, so that was probably stupid of me not to do that. But the Pentium 4 3.2 gigahertz is more than fine for... I'm not going to even use this system, mainly because it was made, I believe, like, kind of at the end of the capacitor plague, so I'm still kind of iffy on using it because all the caps are still good and everything. I kind of want to keep this thing in good shape because I know these things are pretty sought after from the Dell fanboys. Not to say that I'm not one, because I have too many Dells, but that's just the way I ended up with it. Anyways, yeah, I have too many Dells, but that's just my luck. I've just ended up with a bunch of Dells. This actually came in a box. If you guys see my Twitter, this came in a box that was labeled HP refurbished. So that was sitting in the car on the way home. I was like expecting some like HP Desk Pro or something, or Compact Desk Pro. I can't remember the models, HPs and stuff. I'm not too much informed on that side, but that's the box that this was in. And then I was pretty much in awe when I opened the box and saw the giant Dell logo on the side, because right off the bat I knew it was an XPS. Also, to say that it said XPS on the side, I'd almost like cried. I was so happy. But it's such a nice computer. It's in great shape. I believe the power supply was changed though in its lifetime, because there's some scuffing right here on the power supply part, but everything beyond above it is perfectly fine. If you don't know these XPSs, the whole entire bottom section from here to the back is the power supply. It's a 460 watt Dell OEM power supply, so it's a tank, that's for sure. I believe it's some of the same power supplies that they use in their PowerEdge servers. But yeah, it has DDR2, uses the clamshell design that some of the Optiplexes and Dimensions use. So very unique design. I kind of like the clamshell design. Dell had some awesome designs and some weird designs too at that. They all had their ups and downs. Like BTX was pretty cool. I like working with BTX style cases, but cooling in them is not the greatest, as the Optiplex is using up there right now. So yeah, that's those two systems. I'll probably do a more in-depth video with this, but like I said, let me know which actual system you guys want to see me do full-fledged videos on, because I will probably actually end up doing one on all of them. Down here is just the case that used to be my main computer. Right now there's just a let me see, there's actually an opening right here. Just that Intel motherboard, LGA 755, no CPU in there right now. I should just put a CPU in there, prevent those pins from getting damaged. It's a full-size ATX board, the only full-size ATX motherboard that I have besides the XPS, but the only problems it's having is that the microphone port on it is dead, and the onboard Ethernet is dying. So the motherboard is pretty much on its last limb. This motherboard came with this beer. If you watch my Pentium D build, same motherboard, but so I'm probably not going to go in much depth with it. But then it just has a Turtle Beach sound card in there to fix that, and then I believe a LAN card. So that solved those two problems. And then I had Windows Me on here for a while, but that's kind of a hint on what I'm getting into with Windows Me. Just keep that in mind. Back here is just an old Inwin case that this motherboard was in for a while. That was an old X-ray computer at an old hospital, local hospital near me, that the original motherboard failed, so I just stuck that in there and built a system for my parents in the meantime when their computer was having some problems. So that's just back there right now. It's a good case, but the front USB ports are broken, so it's a little bit worn down, but I just keep it just in case I want to do anything ATX related. Up here's the Dimension 5100. Everyone knows this computer, so I'm not going to go into much detail with it. But over here is the Dimension E510. So more or less the exact same model. This one just has a newer motherboard, so it actually supports the Pentium Ds, unlike this 5100. And as you can see, this one has the actual motherboard in it, and it has the expansion cards, a Intel Gigabit PCI card, and then the dial-up modem. Haven't done much of that system. That's one I'm probably going to turn into a server, or this is something I did to the 5100, or more or less my dad did. I'm not going to take the credit for that, but he dremeled out the entire I/O plate on these, on the 5100, so basically we killed it, sadly, so sad. The original motherboard's up there, so don't worry, everything's still here for all you lovers of this computer. But this is a Optiplex 745 motherboard in here, so I can put up to a Core 2 quad in here. So same thing, same exact motherboard that's in my Optiplex GX620 case right now, which I'll get into. I just made a video on if you haven't watched that earlier, but I'm going to show it off a little bit more. I got a new card for it. Anyways, just has the standard, the original power, so everything's original except for that motherboard. So right now it has a Pentium E something, I can't remember, one of the lower power ones, but that would be great for a server, which this computer is most likely going to turn into. And there's the front of the 5100 in case no one believes me, right there, 5100. And that's pretty much it for those computers. This video is already longer than I wanted it to be. There's my Sharp TV. What's going to happen, I'm going to end up cleaning this whole thing up this weekend. I'll get some pictures and put them on my Twitter. In fact, I need to link my Twitter on my channel. Stupid me, hasn't done that. But I had a friend over, he had his computer set up here. We were hacking some stuff. No, we weren't. We were just testing DDoS and stuff on my home network and found out some vulnerabilities and all that fun stuff. So he had his stuff set up there, his soda's still there. This was from last weekend, and I ended up just piling stuff over since I needed some room to work on some stuff here. But yeah, it's going to get cleaned up, and I'm going to put a projector TV here. Which I have. It's an old, Hitachi TV, so the same company that makes those wonderful Hitachi Death Star hard drives that everyone fondles and loves so much. Anyways, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to end off this video. Here's the, let's see if I can focus this on here quickly, since I have autofocus on. There we go. Here's the GX620 full mini tower, as they're labeled on Dell's website. I love how this video is actually picking it up. You can see this is not the original hard drive that came with the system, or optical drive. What am I saying? This is the optical drive out of a 745. The motherboard is also from the 745. And basically it's just the GX620 case. But the original case that came with this was completely more or less destroyed. People love to push in these Dell logos and stuff and scuff them up and all that, but that's what you get for these things being at schools forever in their lives. So I ended up putting this in a GX620 case, which had a bad motherboard, so it more or less got resurrected. I'll pop off the side panel here, I'll show you guys. But currently it also has a hard drive from the 745, so pretty much it's a 745. I'm going to stay away from it since the fan's running at full RPMs. It has the GX620 fan in it, which doesn't have a heat sensor on it, unlike the 745s. So it runs it at full RPMs, which is not a big deal for me since I like it staying cool with that Core 2 Quad Q6600 in there with its whopping 105 watt TDP. So you guys probably hear that now. I'm going to put it next to it. As you can see, there were some stains on there. I believe that was probably from some popsicle, or I don't know what kids have at schools. Not to say I'm not a kid, but there's some like stains. I believe it's nail polish, actually, weirdly enough. But I'm going to try and clean that off. I've tried to, but it's pretty much just stuck on there. It's not a big deal. It's not even noticeable unless I put the camera right there next to it. So yeah, I'll get that cleaned off. But what I did is I ended up reversing the fan. I know this topic is pretty all over the place, but some people say don't flip the fan, but what I was planning on doing was putting this intake fan back here anyways, and it's basically a straight tunnel of airflow right over the graphics card, which I'm going to get to in a second. But it's sucking in air through the back, putting it right through the front, and dissipating it. And actually my temps are staying good. Let me show it up. these processors and the card's actually running pretty high. I need to change the thermal paste on there. Let me turn that off. So that's the card that's in it, ATI FireGel V360, and that's the temps at it right now. This computer's been running for a good 4 hours now. So and then there's the CPU temp, so it's keeping it pretty cool. Wow, I don't know when it got up to the 51C, but this CPU runs hot anyways. So there's the prove it that it's a Core 2 quad. So that's pretty much the only thing I bought for the system was the processor. Originally had a Pentium D in the motherboard. Friend's showing off something right there, but let me turn that light back on. So this is just a big ramble video, but I know some people like ramble videos. Anyways, here's the card, and I also posted on my Twitter, I'll just show that for a second. The fan that's on there is actually the fan from the PNY GT210. So I believe it's right here actually. Here's the original fan. This fan has bad bearings, so I ended up putting this fan on there. The thing is that the mounting holes didn't line up, so guess what I ended up doing? I ended up taking some super glue, putting it on the bottom of the fan, and basically more or less stuck it on the heatsink of the ATI FireGL card. So to my surprise, it's working actually surprisingly well. So I'll have to make sure to let you guys know though if the fan or whatever gets hot, but if it ever falls off or whatever. But it's actually working very well. I'm very surprised by it, and if it lasts for a noticeable amount of time, I'll make sure to recommend it actually if you're ever in a situation where you're not able to do something. I wouldn't recommend it with bigger fans, but for something puny like this, it works great. I guess that's pretty much it though, guys. I'm gonna go get off. Lights are shining in the background. Gonna get back on Skype with my friends, but more or less just wanted to do, this could pretty much be an update video, but wanted to show off the 2K, see how well everything's working, kind of show you guys some new things that I have planned on doing, and also to let you guys know that I do have a Twitter, so make sure to follow that. I'll put it on my channel and in the description. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.